Hi, hello, and welcome again for the continuation on another part of our Django mini blog series. And in the previous one, we created the model, and we have here the admin posts that we are creating. So now, and for now, what we are going to do, we are going to start to create the views and the URLs. So let's do this. So now we don't have the views, so like we don't have any display here, we just have like the initial setup, but we want like to be able to display anything. So for this, let's start for the view. And there is a lot of ways to create view. You can use generics, you can use function-based views, you can use class-based views. Here I'm going to teach you the class-based views. We are going to start with the general view model, and after we are going to start with the generics, because the generics, it's doing what we do with the view, but in a quicker way, but we have less personalization. It's a trade-off, but let's see that after. Now let's just create our Django blog view. So to create our Django blog view, we do this, and after let's define get, and here we put self and we pass the request, and we are going to return something very simple, which is the HTTP response, but we have to import this from Django.http import HTTP, it was there, HTTP response. So okay, so this is correct now, and we are going to say something very simple or basic and very generic: hello world. And okay, this is the view, but there is nothing appearing here because we define like the view. It is like the function that's going to trigger that HTTP response each time we want to an URL, but we haven't defined any URL. So we have to define the URLs. For example, here we already have some URLs that trigger some functions, and we are going to do this also for the blog. So we could create actually all the URLs here. For example, to create the view, we could do like here. So for the view, we are going to say the root part, that's going to be only the localhost, and here we are going to add the blog view. So from blog.views, we are going to import the created blog view. That's going to be this one. And here we say the function that we want to trigger, but you have to say blog view and as view. And yeah, it should work. So let's come here and see what's not. Okay, name view is not defined here. So from Django.views, we forgot to import like the views. Import view. Okay, because all that we are doing here, it's some of the methods and properties I narrated from that class view that it comes in Django. So let's do this again, and as you can see, we have our hello world view that it was triggered in this URL. Okay, this is not bad, but we like to transform this in a more modular way. So what are we going to do? We are, instead of handling the URLs in our main app, in our general app, we are going to do this in the blog. So let's create in the blogs directory a new Python file. It's going to be urls.py. That's going to be the same for this, but we don't want the admin here. What we want is, okay, here, since you are in this directory, we can do this from views, import blog view, and here it's okay. And we don't need this anymore. And a good thing that it's good to do is to name the routes of our views. So here, the home page, we're going to name this home. This is going to be useful to do further manipulations in the future. Okay, but now we have something. We have the URLs here, but we don't have any way to connect these to our new creator URLs file. For example, if you do this again and we refresh, we come back again to the default page. So what we're going to do to link this URL with our blog URLs is to import that function that is include. So here, what we're going to do, we are going to do path and to our root URL, and we are going to name it include. We're going to include the blog.urls. So what this and this has to be a string. So what's going to do this? We are going to say, okay, if the user goes to the root URL, we want to map all of these paths. So that's one example. Now it should start to work, but imagine that here we say, okay, blog slash, and we come here again. Nothing happens. So because what's saying? Using the URL config, Django tried these URL patterns, admin and blog, but we are not trigger neither admin, neither the blog. So what you have to do, you go, if you do like the blog, okay, we are again in the in the blog, in our view file. But let's say we don't want, we want our home to be this. And okay, this is the simplest way to create a view. So we are rendering now, but now let's do something that make this view much more useful, because we create a model. We haven't used the information from that model. So this is what we are going to do now. So to retrieve the information from the models, what you are going to do is from .models, we are going to import our model that we create before. It's going to be the post. Okay, so now here in our get, what we want to do in our blog view, we want to retrieve all the posts. So we have to fetch that information. So to do that, we go to objects, post.objects.all, and with this we are able to retrieve all the posts. So let's do a print, and let's say all posts. Okay, so if we trigger this again, we have this, and we get like a query with all the informations that we have from the post. So we have like a list of objects with two posts, the post and some experience, and that's it. So now that we have retrieved that information and we know that information is here, let's do something better. And what we want to do is, instead of rendering that hello world, we want to do more of this. We want to render an HTML page, and in that HTML page we are going to actually display that information in a much beautiful way. So it's going to be for the next video. For now, we just learned how to use URLs and the views. So we already did the first two letters of the MVT architecture. So we did the model, which is here. We create a view, which is here, and the view are always connected with the URL. So now we have to add a template to display beautiful that information here. So this is what you are going to learn in the next video. We are going to learn 4 templates. So if you like this video, like, share and subscribe, and see you in the next one.